I've always been Mr. Romantic, but I've never had a happily ever after. I could always see where my relationship will hit its demise. I know I'm just 18 and people tell me all the time that I have experienced love yet, since I'm so young. I'm sure every teenager was told that after heartbreak. I've come to expect every word I hear from a girl could be a lie. Every little emotion or affection I'm shown, I think it could switch so fast. Everyone has stories, and everyone has a past that leads to who they are at this very moment. I have a list of those stories, but they're that one that'll stick with me until the next time I'm quote unquote in love. Out of nowhere, she became the main character
Come
of my
on,
most
dude.
involved, insane and painful relationship. She'd be in my dreams, but she would soon be a part of my nightmares. Met her through a girl I was having stupid little thing with at a time. The time I didn't know what the future had in store for us. I just knew she was special. I didn't have feelings for her, but just from meeting her, she left a mark on me. A few months after the little thing we had, she ended up messaging me and made the first move, but I didn't realize what she was trying to do, so I ignored it until I bumped into her leading me on to eventually getting stuck. The first time we hung out, it wasn't the same hanging out with other girls in my past. There was the first few hours of awkwardness. It was like we have known each other for years, same sense of humor, same point of views, and so many things, but we were different from each other just enough where we were introducing each other to new things. Every teenage relationship has the phase where you guys can't get enough of each other and want to be linked by the waist 24/7. I refer to this stage as the honeymoon stage. With me and this girl, the honeymoon stage wasn't ending. We were going on our ninth month together before there was a major break in chain. Yeah, we had our little pretty fights in 9 months of being together, but that stuff was moved on from and grew for. This was the point of the relationship where things got toxic. Whenever girls text you and say, we need to talk, you either did or even thought about doing something wrong they knew. But in my case, I got the second and me the worst possible option. I get hit with this. Excuse me. I'm confused. There's so much going on in my life. I can't be with you. Listen, after being with someone for a close year, you get to know them, and you know when they aren't acting like themselves. I knew something was up, but I loved this girl, and I knew she loved me. So I let her go. I told her I thought this was wrong decision and told her to go do her and text me when she's ready. I knew she'd be back in a couple of days. She was just stressed out, and I was the one for her to take it out on, which was never the right thing, but what are you going to do? Just like I called it, she texted me the same night saying she messed up and made a mistake. So we got back together, and it's like nothing changed until after a year of anniversary. I get a call from a random number, and it ended up being my girl's sister saying she wants to meet for coffee and talk. I go and meet her, and she tells me that the reason my girl was confused for a few months back was because her ex was trying to make a comeback into her life, and she was having mixed emotions. And the night we broke up, she went and hung out with him and did a little more than hanging out. Of course, naturally, I started getting furious and just wanted to explode, but my girl sister calmed me down and told me she realized it was the biggest mistake she could have ever made. And that minute he dropped her off is when she called me, saying that she wanted me and she was sorry for saying she was confused. The sister made me a promise to never tell her that she came and told me. Like, come on, how did the sister expect to tell me and for me to act the same? I was blinded by love and didn't think it was a big deal since it happened 3 months ago. And we had been nothing perfect since then, a little breakup. Oh, was I wrong? It continued to eat me up inside. The thought of the girl I was in love with was with someone else, even though she hurt me more than anyone else at this point. She knew secrets, my hopes, my fears. She made me feel different. These were the feeling that blinded me of who she really was. I have the left. I left that minute. I met with her sister and I heard those words I dreaded come out of her mouth. But I stayed, just leading me or to more pain and agency that could have been avoided. We aren't together anymore for the fact that I couldn't take it anymore. I told her that I knew she wanted to try and fix things, and I let her try to fix for a few weeks, but I couldn't deal with it. So I invited her over, had all of her stuff bagged up, ready for her one day, and just told her I couldn't take it out anymore, that I love her too much, but everything was possible. Seeing a future with her, but I couldn't build a future of a toxic past, and that's it. Better for us to go our separate ways. She didn't take it all too well, but it was her fault, and I'm not going to lie. She was proving to me she loved me, and she made a mistake. She never denied she didn't. Some things were just not possible to come back from. She wanted to keep in touch and check in with each other. We kept that going for a little while, but I couldn't keep it up, so I just cut her off for good. Didn't matter how much I loved her, she was toxic for me.